Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, your number one source for income-oriented investing. And today I want to talk about something that I've been getting a lot of comments on. I've been getting emails and seeing a lot of stuff on this or along these lines of Canadians holding these very high yield US listed funds like QQQY, like JEPY with a Y, right? Those 40, 50, 60% yielding ETFs. It could be that yield is so attractive. So you're like, you know what, might as well put it in my TFSA or in my cash account and take that 15% withholding tax hit, right? Because it's very tempting, it's very high yield. But in this video, I'm going to explain to you why you should probably not hold US listed, very high yielding US listed funds in your TFSA or cash account. I feel that they're really only good and optimal for your RSP and Lira account because obviously there is no 15% withholding tax. So today I'm going to go through the reasons why, and hopefully by the end of the video you'll understand my point, because I feel it's very important. I feel it could be a pretty big mistake by doing this or putting those funds specifically in a TFSA or cash account. Let's figure out why together right now. All right, everyone, so let's go through a couple of reasons and then I'll actually show you some examples and we'll be able hopefully to put this information together, or my reasons will make much more sense anyway. So the first reason, very, very important, everyone. Obviously, if you watch my channel, you should know this already. I talk about this often. Yield does not equal return. Right, it's extremely important you understand that. Some people, they invest in a fund that gives an ETF, covered call ETF, leverage ETF, whatever, that gives you 14, 15% yield, and they think, oh, well, I'm just going to make 15% yield a year. It doesn't work that way. Yield is the yield. It's part of the total return, of course, but it's not the return, right? So if you're getting something like a 40% yield with a JEPY from Defiance, or a 60% yield from a QQQY, or you own the yield max ones, and those could be anywhere between 15 to 60%. Just because it's 50-60% yield does not mean it's 50-60% total return. Very, very important point. Point number two is pretty obvious. The 15% withholding tax, right? It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot, especially in a very, very high yielding fund where the primary source of return is going to be your income. If you're just getting a 15% hit right off the bat, that's very, very a big hit to your total return and your yield as well, right? Because you're just getting 15% less of that distribution. It's going away to the IRS. It's not like you could, it's deducted right when you get your dividend, your distribution. It goes to the IRS, it goes to the American government, so there's nothing you could do to get it back or anything like that. There is a 15% withholding. There's a little tax credit in the cash account, but in the TFSA you don't get that. So in reality, 15% is a pretty big hit, guys. If it's like a VOO, if you decided, I'm going to put VOO, which is a US listed, it's basically the US listed version of VFV, the S&P 500. That's not so bad. Or something that does not have any income, because remember that 15% withholding tax is only on the income the ETF provides. So if the ETF has very, very, very little to no income at all, then that's fine. You could go ahead and hold those US stocks in a TFSA and cash account with relatively low or no repercussions whatsoever. There is, of course, the US currency conversion, but if you have US dollars lying around, maybe that's not an issue for you. But that 15% hit is pretty significant because it does cause a reduction in the total return, right? Because it's yield, and then that 15% is after the yield. It's not like it's net of yield, right? So it could be pretty big. Third one, kind of already talked about it. It's the third reason why you probably shouldn't, is the currency conversion, right? You got to deal with that currency conversion. Whether you do it with, that fancy Smith maneuver, I think it was, or whatever that thing is to convert, or whether you're just converting regularly, it could be hassle. You'll lose a tiny bit on conversion fees typically. So there's also that as well. But I would say it's a very, very small reason. And the last reason is that there's pretty much a Canadian equivalent fund or ETF for QQQY and JPY, right? In Canada, we have plenty of S&P 500 covered call ETFs, leverage, non-leverage, different providers, Nasdaq covered call ETF, from Horizons, for example, QQCC, you got a leverage version. So we do have the equivalent where you just don't have to worry about that 15% withholding tax because it's a Canadian fund. Remember that even if it's a Canadian listed ETF that holds only American stuff, there is no 15% withholding tax to worry about. It's all handled by the fund manager within the fund. So you will not see a 15% withholding tax taken away from your distribution if it's a Canadian listed ETF. So let's go through a few examples. We'll put this information together and I'll try to prove exactly what I'm talking about here, and hopefully the reasons will make sense. So let's check out a few examples together here. So let's go through a few tempting US listed covered call ETFs, high yielding ones that it could be very tempting to put in your cash account, your TFSA account, right? They're US listed. So we'll look at S&P 500 ones, we'll look at Nasdaq ones. I'm going to focus on the two indexes, the two major indexes, but what I'm going to say really also applies to things like YieldMax as well, the single stock ones. Okay, so you have JEPY from JP Morgan, very, very popular. Pretty much the S&P 500 with covered calls, not the entire S&P 500, right? If you watch my videos, you know about that. There's also SPY, which is kind of very similar, but it is the entire S&P 500, so all companies are there. And then the very tempting one with the high yield, JEPY, the Defiance S&P 500 one, which currently, based on the last distribution of November, is 42% yield. So especially JEPY, right? Very, very tempting, 42% yield, even with the 15%, put in my TFSA, put in my cash account, it's worth it. Well, let's actually look at, this goes back to my first point, yield does not equal returns. Let's look at the returns of these three. So JEPY, we don't have the data because it's only been out for about 3-4 months, but let's look at JEPY. So JEPY, the 1 year return, market price total return is 5.53. It's not that great. And I have a strong suspicion it's because really a lot of the stocks that exploded on the S&P 500 this year, like part of the Magnificent Seven, or maybe JEPY doesn't have full access to them because they actually pick stocks in the S&P 500. There's about 100, 120 stocks, not the entire S&P 500, but that's a conversation for another time. Let's look at SPY. Okay, so 5.53. Let's look at SPY, however, which is the entire S&P 500 that did much better in the last year. We're talking about a market price return 11.37. No, let's do the 1 year. 10.74% in the last year. That is the total return net of fees, including the income of the fund, right? And this is as of the end of November, by the way. So JEPY, we can't know because it hasn't been out for a year. But what I want to show you is do a total return comparison between. Let's do JEPY and SPY, just because SPY has a higher return right now than JEPY. And what you will see is that if we do the comparison, that JEPY with a Y is currently outperforming SPY, but keep in mind this is only in the last 3-4 months, right? The range, because JEPY's only been out for that amount of time, but JEPY is currently outperforming SPY. So this is obviously great news. It makes me happy because I own a lot of JEPY, but that's not my point. My point is here that just because it has 4-5 times the yield of a SPY, it doesn't mean the return is going to be 4 or 5 times more. If you look at actually the return, yes, it's outperforming it, a SPY, but not by a crazy amount. It's just slight outperformance. You see your 10,000 would become 10,208 with SPY, and your 10,000 would be 10,500 with JEPY. So as you could see, even the graphs very similar. They're going to move similarly. Of course they will. It's both the underlying is the S&P 500. It's the same underlying. So what I'm trying to prove to you here is just because something is double, triple, 5 times the yield doesn't mean it's going to be 5 times the return. Yield does not equal return. So if we just stick to this here, let's say more or less, JEPY was an exception in the last year, but I would say more or less something like a JEPY, a SPY, a JEPY with a Y, more or less is going to have very similar return profiles, even though some could have, JEPY has a lot more yield because the underlying is the same or close to the same, the S&P 500. So if we're saying that JEPY has about the same return, maybe slightly higher than SPY, let's stay with high 10s, 11% if we will. Let's look at some Canadian equivalent stuff where you don't have to worry about the 15% withholding tax, because yes, you would get, let's say 10.74 or 11, but that doesn't include the 15% withholding tax that you're paying every month on your distribution. So you would get much less than that. Would you get 15% less total return? I don't know exactly, but probably near 15% less, right? Because like I mentioned, these high yield funds, most of the return comes from the income. So if you would own JEPY, 15% hit on something very high yielding is even more serious, right? So if you look at HYLD the last year, 10.57, guys. So obviously I'm going to choose things that are close or similar to the S&P 500 exposure. So HYLD is kind of close to that. It's not perfect. But what is perfect more or less is USCC. This is kind of the S&P 500 with covered calls. So we're comparing really tomatoes with tomatoes here. If you look at the performance last year, it's 11.47. So even slightly higher. So what I'm trying to say is that with the Canadian equivalent, where you don't have to worry about the 15% withholding tax, it's similar, if not with USCC, even better returns. Something like an ESPX, also not a year it's been out, so there's no 1 year data, but I actually did the comparison against USCC, and it's outperforming, it's doing slightly better than USCC. So getting what I'm trying to say is getting an ESPX, something like a USCC and HYLD, you would be better off getting that in your TFSA in a cash account than the US equivalent, because the returns are very, very similar. It's not rocket science, they hold the same thing, but that 15% withholding tax on every dividend makes the US ones less attractive, plus the currency conversion problem as well. Let's take another example. Let's take the very tempting QQQY. I've been getting a lot of emails and seeing a lot of, well, I'm just going to put this in my TFSA. There's 15% withholding tax. I got to convert to USD, but it's such high yield. Well, check this out, guys. I mean, what's the equivalent more or less on the US market? It would be a JEPQ, right? The JEPQ is kind of also the Nasdaq 100. And if you actually compare QQQY to JEPQ, again, QQQY is slightly outperforming the JP Morgan one, but it's extremely similar. It's almost identical in terms of performance. So again, guys, yield does not equal total return. So QQQY's performance is going to be very, very similar to a JEPQ, which has a lot less yield. So yield does not equal performance. So what is this is the Nasdaq, right? What is the performance of JEPQ in the last year? Nasdaq's recovered, done really, really well. 24%. What is the equivalent on the Canadian side? Very easy. QQCC, right? And what is the performance of QQCC? It's about the same thing in the last year, 24%. So it doesn't make sense to get a JEPQ in your TFSA or cash account. You might as well go with the QQCC, because even though they have the same performance here, you're going to get 15% hit also. So it's not worth it, right? You might as well, you're much better off with the Canadian equivalent. Now, there could be some exceptional funds like SVOL, which is just destroying everybody. It's not only destroying QQQY and JEPQ and SPY and all of these covered call ETFs, but it's also beating the S&P 500 index, the Nasdaq 100 index. It's just a complete crazy outperform. It's done absolutely phenomenal. If we look at the last year, we're talking way more than 10, 11, 22.8% return. So something like this, maybe if you do the math, that 15% hit, after that, it could still be worth it. But we don't know what SVOL is going to do in the next couple of years. Obviously, it's a really, really good fund, and there's no real Canadian equivalent for SVOL. So what I'm saying is there could be some exceptions, like maybe having SVOL in your TFSA or cash account could make sense. But I think the main reason I really wanted to do with this video is I keep seeing people saying, well, I'm going to put these really crazy high yield stuff like QQQY and JPY and yield max in my TFSA and generate so much income. Listen, it's not wrong for you to do that, but what I'm trying to say, hopefully with all the reasons we talked about, it's probably not worth it, because yield does not equal return. So it's very, very important to remember that. Hopefully this video was informative for you. If it is, give me a thumbs up. And again, I'm not saying it's wrong if you do this, but in my opinion, it just doesn't make sense, especially because we have all these great Canadian equivalent ones, leveraged and non-leveraged. By the way, there's QQCL, right? You get even higher yield, like 14, and there's USCL as well, which is just under 14% yield. So my opinion, you're much better off with the Canadian listed equivalent in your TFSA and cash account. You like the US stuff, hold it in RSP and Lira, because that 15% withholding tax does not exist. So take care, guys, and see you next time. Hey, don't go yet. A few reminders before you leave. Did you know that I launched a YouTube loyalty membership program where for only $3 a month, you could become a PII Inner Circle member, where you will gain access to exclusive content, exclusive videos and live streams, as well as other perks and benefits, including a really cool weekly opportunity report. That's right. If you're interested, just click on the little join button next to the subscribe button to see what it's all about. Also, make sure to follow me on Blossom and download Blossom. It's a social investing app, which is really cool. You could share your portfolio, follow other people's portfolios, including my own. My username is Adrian_PII. So download it with the referral link below. Not only is it free, but you could actually earn cash by taking these really small, quick 1-minute courses. Really awesome. It's a no-brainer. Also, make sure to visit our website, passiveincomeinvesting.ca. That's where you could book a one-on-one private coaching session with yours truly, with myself, where you could ask me all the questions you want. All the information and booking information is on the website. Make sure to check out that video on the homepage there to see how to book a one-on-one properly. Also on my website, you could purchase my digital product, which I'm very proud of, the ultimate DIY investing package. This is a reference tool or a companion tool that will help you build your own portfolio. So it has lists of funds, it has sample portfolios, and it covers both the Canadian and US stock markets. And the good news is you'll only ever have to buy it once because it comes with free lifetime updates. And my plan is really to update the version every single year. So make sure to pick it up. Also, I have Questrade and Passive referral links below. So Questrade is the broker that I personally use, and Passive is the broker companion tool or assistant that I use. Really cool program, really cool software. So I have referral links for both of those. Questrade, $50 of free trades. And Passive, I have half off for the elite membership. If you're interested in the elite membership, and even if you want to start out with the free membership and upgrade to the elite afterwards, use my referral code so you could still get that 50% off. And don't forget that the elite membership of Passive is 100% free if you use Questrade. For social media, we have a very successful and big Facebook group, private Facebook group with over 14,000 members where we all try to help each other out. So make sure to join that group. Information is below. We also have Instagram where you could follow us or more personal stuff when it comes to our life here in Panama. And there's LinkedIn as well. So as usual, everyone, how do I leave you? Continue to stay safe, stay healthy, and of course, stay passive. See you next time.